You are sitting on the edge of your bed. The alarm went off 20 minutes ago. You know you need to get up. You know you have things to do. There is a pile of laundry in the corner that has been there for a week. There are emails you haven't opened. There is a sink full of dishes that you promised yourself you would wash last night. You look at these things and you feel a physical weight pressing down on your chest. You scream at yourself inside your head. You say, just get up, just do it. Why are you so lazy? Why can't you function like a normal adult? But your body doesn't move. It feels like your limbs are made of lead. So you grab your phone, you start scrolling, you don't even like what you're watching, but it numbs the panic. An hour passes, then two. Now not only have you done nothing, but you are also exhausted. You are more tired than you were when you woke up. If this sounds like your life, I need you to listen to me very closely. You are not lazy. You are not broken. You are not a failure. What you are experiencing isn't a character flaw. It is a biological response. It is a survival mechanism. Your body isn't refusing to work because it's bad. It's refusing to work because it thinks you are in danger. We have a name for this. It's called the freeze response. And for many of you, this exhaustion you feel deep in your bones, it's not from a lack of sleep. It is from carrying the invisible weight of unprocessed trauma. Today we are going to fix this. We are going to turn off the alarm bells in your head so you can finally rest and actually feel rested. But to do that, we have to stop fighting your brain and start understanding it. Let's start with the biggest lie you've ever been told. The lie of laziness. Society loves this word. We use it to shame ourselves. We think laziness is a choice. We think it means you just want to sit on the couch and eat chips because you don't care. But think about the last time you felt lazy. Did you actually enjoy it? When you were procrastinating on that project, were you having a good time? Or were you sitting there paralyzed by guilt, staring at the wall, with your heart racing and your stomach in knots? True relaxation feels good. It feels restorative. What you are doing doesn't feel good. It feels like torture. That is the difference. Laziness is, I don't want to do this. Trauma freeze is, I desperately want to do this, but my body won't let me. Imagine you are in a car. Laziness is simply taking your foot off the gas pedal because you want to coast for a while. But what are you experiencing? That is having one foot slamming on the gas and the other foot slamming on the brake at the same time. From the outside, the car isn't moving. It looks like it's parked. It looks lazy. But look under the hood. The engine is screaming. The tires are smoking. The internal parts are grinding themselves into dust. You are burning massive amounts of energy just to stand still. That is why you are so tired. You aren't doing anything. You are fighting a war inside your own nervous system every single minute of every single day. So why is your body doing this? Why is it slamming on the brakes? To understand this, we have to look at your nervous system. It's like a ladder. At the top of the ladder, you are safe. You are social. You can connect with friends, you can focus on work, and you can laugh. This is the green zone. When stress hits, maybe a deadline or an argument, you move down the ladder into the red zone. This is fight or flight. Your heart beats faster. You get anxious. You get angry. Your body is pumping you full of energy to run away from a tiger or fight a bear. But what happens when the stress doesn't stop? What happens when the tiger lives in your house? What happens when the threat is something you can't fight and you can't run from, like a toxic parent, a crushing debt, toxic into or a world that feels unsafe? When your body realizes that fighting won't work and running won't work, it has one final option. It shuts down. It pulls the emergency brake. It drops you to the bottom of the ladder. This is the freeze state. In biology, this is what a gazelle does when the lion catches it. It goes limp. It plays dead. It numbs the pain so that if it gets eaten, it won't feel it. You are living in that state. Your nervous system has decided that the world is too much, the stress is too high, and the only way to keep you safe is to make you play dead. That is why you can't do the dishes. That is why you can't answer the text. Your brain thinks the dishes are a lion. It thinks the email is a threat to your life, so it numbs you out. This creates something psychologists call functional freeze. This is the most dangerous type because it tricks you. In a full freeze, you can't get out of bed. But in a functional freeze, you go to work. You smile at your coworkers. You make dinner. You look fine. But inside, you feel like a zombie. You are going through the motions, but you aren't really there. You feel disconnected from your body. You might find yourself forgetting chunks of the day. You might have zero libido, zero appetite, or you might eat everything in sight just to feel something. And the moment you get home, the moment the pressure is off, you collapse. You get stuck on the couch in your work clothes for 4 hours. This is where the shame cycle starts. You look at yourself and think, I was fine at work. Why am I so useless now? You aren't useless. You just ran out of adrenaline. You were running on pure stress hormones all day, and now the tank is empty. Now I know what you're thinking. But nothing terrible happened to me. I wasn't in a war. I didn't have a huge accident. Do I really have trauma? This is the second big misunderstanding. We think trauma has to be a huge explosive event, and it can be. But for most of us, trauma is quiet. Trauma isn't just the bad things that happen to you. It is also the good things that didn't happen to you. Maybe you grew up in a house where you couldn't express anger. Maybe your parents were emotionally absent. Maybe you were praised only when you got good grades, so you learned that your worth equals your productivity. If you grew up walking on eggshells, trying to predict your parents' moods, your nervous system learned to be hypervigilant. It learned that relaxing is dangerous. If you relax, you might miss a warning sign. If you relax, you might get yelled at. So you learned to stay in the red zone, always anxious, always achieving, always perfect. You did this for years, maybe decades, but the body keeps the score. You can't run the engine in the red zone forever. Eventually, the engine blows. That high-functioning anxiety you had in your 20s, it crashes into the exhaustion you feel now. Your body says, I can't do this anymore, and it forces you into the freeze. This is why positive thinking doesn't work for you. You've probably tried to talk yourself out of this. You've watched the motivational videos. You've bought the planners. You've written the to-do lists. You tell yourself, just be disciplined, just focus, but you can't think your way out of a survival response. Imagine you are walking in the woods and a bear jumps out. Your body pumps you full of fear. You freeze. If someone standing next to you said, hey, just have a positive mindset, just organize your schedule, you would think they were crazy. You can't reason with a nervous system that thinks it's dying. Logic lives in the front part of your brain, the prefrontal cortex, but trauma lives in the primitive part of your brain and in your body. When the alarm bell rings, the primitive brain hijacks the car and locks the logic brain in the trunk. That's why you know exactly what you need to do, but you still can't do it. The logic is there, but the driver is gone. So if we can't think our way out and we can't shame our way out, how do we get out? We have to show your body, not your mind, but your body, that it is safe. We have to move you from the bottom of the ladder back up to the top. But here is the trick, and this is where almost everyone fails. You cannot jump from freeze straight to happy. It's physically impossible. You have to pass through the middle of the ladder first. Do you remember what the middle was? The red zone, fight or flight, anger and anxiety. This is the part nobody tells you. As you start to heal, as you start to thaw out from the freeze, you are not going to feel zen immediately. You are going to feel agitated. You are going to feel irritable. You might feel a sudden wave of rage or panic. This is actually a good sign. It means the engine is turning back on. It means you are coming back to life. Most people feel that anxiety rising and think, oh no, I'm getting worse. So they numb out. Again, they go back to the phone, back to the freeze, because the freeze feels safer than the anxiety. You have to be willing to feel the heat as you thaw. Let's talk about actionable steps. How do we actually do this? How do we turn off the emergency brake? I'm going to give you a few tools. These aren't mental tricks. These are somatic exercises. Somatic just means of the body. We are going to speak the language your nervous system understands. The first tool is what I call the sigh. It sounds stupidly simple, but it is powerful. When you are stressed, you take short, shallow breaths. This tells your brain, danger. I want you to try this right now. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Then take a second tiny sip of air on top of that, and then let it out through your mouth with a long, audible sigh. Make a sound. Ah. Do it again. Double inhale, long exhale. That long exhale stimulates the vagus nerve. This is the physical wire that connects your brain to your body and tells it to calm down. It is the brake pedal for your anxiety. Doing this 5 times can physically shift your state. The second tool is the shake. Have you ever seen a dog get into a scuffle with another dog? After they separate, what do? They shake it off. They literally shake their entire body from head to tail. Animals do this to discharge adrenaline. Humans, we have social norms. We hold it in. We sit still in our office chairs while our boss yells at us and we bottle that energy up. When you feel stuck, when you feel that heavy paralysis, stand up. Go to the bathroom if you're at work and just shake. Shake your hands, shake your legs, bounce on your heels. Do it for 60 seconds. It looks ridiculous. It feels weird, but it signals to your primitive brain that the event is over and you survived. The third tool is cold water. If you are deep in a doom scrolling spiral and you literally cannot put the phone down, you need a hard reset. Go to the sink, splash cold water on your face, or hold an ice cube in your hand until it melts. This triggers the mammalian dive reflex. It instantly lowers your heart rate and snaps your brain out of the dissociation loop. It brings you back into the room. Now, let's talk about how to approach your work and your life without triggering the freeze again. You have to use a method called titration. Titration is a chemistry term. It means adding a tiny drop of a potent chemical at a time so you don't cause an explosion. You need to titrate your productivity. Right now, you are looking at the laundry mountain. Your brain sees a mountain and freezes. Stop looking at the mountain. Your goal is not to do the laundry. Your goal is to pick up one sock. That's it, just one sock. Tell yourself, I am just going to pick up this one sock and then I can sit back down. Usually, once you pick up the sock, you realize you didn't die. The alarm bell didn't go off. So you might pick up a shirt, then maybe another. But here is the key. If you pick up the sock and your body screams no, then stop. Respect the stop. This builds trust. Right now, your body doesn't trust you. It thinks that if you start working, you will drive it into the ground until you collapse. You have to prove to your body that you will listen to it. If you are tired, rest. But, and this is critical, rest properly. We have confused numbing with resting. Lying in bed scrolling TikTok for 3 hours is not rest. That is high stimulation input. Your brain is processing thousands of images, sounds, and information bits. It is exhausting. Real rest is low stimulation. It is staring out the window. It is lying on the floor with your eyes closed and no music. It is walking slowly without a podcast. It is boring. Real rest feels boring at first because your brain is addicted to dopamine. But that boredom is where the healing happens. That is where your nervous system finally gets the signal that it is safe to power down. I want to address something that often keeps us stuck in this cycle. The inner critic. You have a voice in your head that is mean. It calls you names. It compares you to your friends who seem to have it all together. It says, look at them. They have a house, a promotion, and a clean kitchen. What is wrong with you? You think this voice is trying to help you. You think that if you whip yourself hard enough, you will finally get up and work. But shame is a freeze trigger. Let me say that again. Shame is a freeze trigger. Every time you insult yourself, you are adding stress to your system. You are pushing the brake pedal harder. You are making it physically harder to move. You cannot hate yourself into a version of yourself you can love. You cannot shame yourself into being productive. You have to treat yourself like a recovering injury. If you broke your leg, you wouldn't scream at yourself for not being able to run a marathon. You would say, okay, let's just try to stand up today. Let's just walk to the door. You have emotional fractures in your legs. You have to give yourself the grace to heal. This journey is not a straight line. You will have days when you feel great. You will use the tools, you will get things done, and you will feel like you are finally fixed. And then you will have a day when you can't get out of bed. That is okay. That is not failure. That is just the spiral of healing. You are revisiting the old state, but this time you have more knowledge. You can look at that exhausted version of yourself and say, I see you. You are overwhelmed. It's okay. We are safe. One of the most powerful things you can do is to change your language. Stop saying, I am lazy. Replace it with, I am in a freeze response. Stop saying, I am broken. Replace it with, my nervous system is trying to protect me. Stop saying, I have to do this. Replace it with, I am choosing to do this one small step. It sounds like semantics, but words matter. Your brain is listening to everything you say. Let's go deeper into the why. Why now? Why does it feel like everyone is burning out right now? We are living in a world that our biology was not designed for. For thousands of years, humans lived in tribes. We worked for a few hours to get food, and then we sat around the fire and connected. We had periods of high stress, like a hunt, followed by long periods of rest. Today, we have 0 periods of rest. We have artificial lights that keep us up. We have devices that ping us with work emails at 10 p.m. We have news cycles that show us tragedies from around the globe 24/7. Your nervous system doesn't know the difference between a lion in the bushes and a terrifying news headline on your screen. It treats them both as immediate threats, so you are in a chronic state of low-grade terror. Is it any wonder you are exhausted? Is it any wonder you want to check out? Your exhaustion is a rebellion. It is your body saying, I refuse to participate in this pace anymore. It is unnatural. In a way, your laziness is wisdom. It is your body demanding the rest that the world refuses to give you. So listen to it. When you feel that urge to freeze, try to lean into it consciously. Instead of fighting it and scrolling, set a timer for 10 minutes, lie down, close your eyes, and just let yourself be heavy. Say to yourself, I am allowed to be tired. I am allowed to stop. Usually, when you stop fighting the feeling, it passes much faster. The resistance is what drains you. There is another layer to this trauma. The trauma of perfectionism. Many of you were the good kid. You were the one who never caused trouble. You got the grades. You were the helper. You learned that you only mattered if you were useful. This is a heavy burden to carry. It means you can never turn off. Because if you aren't being useful, who are you? If you aren't achieving, do you still deserve love? The freeze response is often the only way your body can force you to stop being useful. It breaks you down so that you have to stop. Healing this part requires you to decouple your worth from your work. You are worthy of love and safety simply because you exist, not because of how clean your house is, not because of how much money you make, not because of how quickly you reply to emails. You are a human being, not a human doing. I want to talk about the Sunday scaries. You know that feeling. It's Sunday afternoon and the dread starts creeping in. You haven't even started the work week, but you are already exhausted by the thought of it. This is anticipatory anxiety. Your brain is projecting into the future and predicting pain. It is predicting that you won't have the resources to cope. When this happens, you need to shrink your timeline. Anxiety lives in the future. Depression often lives in the past. Peace lives in the present. Your brain is shouting, how am I going? To survive the meeting on Thursday, you don't need to survive Thursday yet. You just need to survive the next 10 minutes. Look around your room. Name 5 things you can see. Name 4 things you can touch. Name 3 things you can hear. This is a grounding technique. It pulls your brain out of the scary future and back into the safe present. In this exact second, right now, are you okay? Yes, you are sitting here. You are breathing. You are safe. Focus on the now. The future is too heavy to carry. As you start to practice these things, the shaking, the sighing, the titration, the self-compassion, you will notice shifts. You will notice that the pile of laundry doesn't look like a mountain anymore. It just looks like clothes. You will notice that you can sit through a movie without checking your phone. You will notice that you have a little bit of energy left at the end of the day to pursue a hobby or just to be present with your family. This is what it means to widen your window of tolerance. Right now, your window is very small. It takes very little stress to push you out of the window and into the freeze. As you heal, that window gets bigger. You can handle more stress without shutting down. You can handle more life, but you have to be patient. You didn't get into this state overnight. You won't get out of it overnight. It took years of holding your breath to get here. It will take time to learn how to exhale. There is one final trap I want to warn you about, the trap of healing perfectionism. This is when you turn healing into another job. You stress out about whether you were doing the breathing exercises correctly. You beat yourself up because you forgot to shake after a meeting. You get angry that you aren't healed yet. Please do not do this. You cannot force your nervous system to relax. That is a paradox. You can only invite it to relax. Approach yourself with curiosity, not criticism. Instead of, why am I freezing? Ask, I wonder what my body is trying to protect me from right now. Be a gentle observer of your own experience. You might be thinking, but I have responsibilities. I can't just lie around and shake and breathe. I have kids to feed. I have rent to pay. I understand. And I am not telling you to quit your job and move to a monastery. I am telling you that you can integrate these small moments of safety into your busy life. It takes 3 seconds to do a double inhale sigh. You can do it in the elevator. You can do it while the coffee is brewing. It takes 1 minute to splash cold water on your face. It takes 5 seconds to speak kindly to yourself instead of harshly. These micro moments add up. They slowly lower the baseline of your stress. They slowly take their foot off the brake pedal. You are building a new baseline, one where safety is the default, not danger. Imagine what your life would look like if you weren't fighting yourself all the time. Imagine waking up and feeling ready. Not manic, not hyper, just prepared. Imagine looking at a task and just doing it. No internal battle, no shame spiral, just action. Imagine finishing your day and feeling satisfied, not drained. This is possible for you. It is not a fantasy, it is biology. Your body wants to heal. It knows how to heal. It is constantly trying to find balance. You just have to get out of its way. You have to stop scaring it with your thoughts and start soothing it with your actions. So tomorrow morning, when that alarm goes off and you feel that heaviness, Don't yell at yourself. Put a hand on your chest. Feel your heartbeat. Tell yourself, I am safe. I am just in a freeze. I am going to take this one slow step at a time. Wiggle your toes, stretch your fingers, take a deep sigh, and then just sit up. That's it. You don't have to conquer the world. You just have to sit up. You are not lazy. You are a survivor. You have been carrying a heavy load for a long time. It is okay to set it down. Be kind to yourself. You are doing the best you can, and believe it or not, that is enough.